Cloud9 versus FaZe on this first map here of Ascent, where we will have FaZe on the defensive side, and starting things off on the attack is Cloud9 with an aggressive push towards this beast-shaped hallway and move into the beast right block.
I mean, Tens just flies past that turret, no threat to him. There's two on the backside towards Boathouse. Baby Bay and Rocket's gonna kick things off for FaZe Clan. But the attackers are there and in position. Baby Bay survives long enough to find three. It's all down to Relics. The last man standing, but 30 HP. Spike's been picked up. Relics is stuck in a spot, unlikely to escape. Right up on top of the box, you've got Baby Bay going for the 4K. Big pistol round coming out from the Jet as FaZe gets things started well on the defense.
Okay, so we didn't know if it was going to be explosive or not when we were trying to predict the matchup, but definitely at that point for a pistol, you're trying to bring the surprise attack here for Cloud9. You're rushing everybody into the site, but I like the fact that FaZe Clan, they played a little bit more passively inside the site, played more towards a retake, and you can't stop Baby Bay like he did before and was playing on Ascent, getting multiple kills yesterday, doing the same thing, and doesn't let go of that gas pedal from yesterday, and that's a big 4K to start things off, and a great way to start this game for FaZe Clan. Now it's going to be 4 players for Cloud9 slowly and methodically looking for some picks towards this mid side. One person watching an aggressive push where Baby Bay's just around the corner, and that is Mitch as that killjoy. And that turret, because the one-sided smoke is not going to spawn anybody else, but shooting it gives enough information that the defenders are playing this quite close.
Yeah, but they have no reason to believe that there's a shotgun waiting around the corner, and that's going to be Baby Bay. The Stinger starts firing towards main, towards the arches. But Baby Bay here with the shotty. Alarm bot goes down. That'll work. A nice utility use coming out from Killjoy for Cloud9. 10 already pushed up short, though, and trying to pressure into Tree Room, decides to back off. It looks like they're going to pivot and head back towards potentially the B site. As you can see, a lot of their resources being positioned in that way. On the attacking side, you've got Killjoy still back in mid. There's some utility down there. The Alarm bot coming in from the defensive Killjoy, but it's a player advantage currently for Cloud9. They might be able to take advantage of that. They've still got Rockus in position, sending down the shock dart as they hear the alarm bot go off.
Left.
Killjoy playing this one passively. You can see Killjoy in spawn right now, right around the corner. Rockus just opened fire with the Aries, and it makes perfect sense why you'd want to do that. The LMG on Sova, so nice. It's down to just Mitch, who's here with the Stinger, and unfortunately not working out so well for Mitch. Now sewn into the corner, and it'll be the Killjoy of the opposite side finding the final kill on the round. FaZe Clan up 2-0 over Cloud9.
Yeah, so just actually putting that turret towards that B entrance on the defender side for FaZe Clan is just enough to get a lot of information as Cloud9 is trying to move into that site. But, you know, on an eco that they're trying to get some information for Cloud9, trying to catch some of FaZe players off guard on aggressive pushes. It didn't really pay off, but they still got 2 kills out of it, so it's not too bad. But for the rest here, as you can see, Rock is just holding down the fort with that Aries, and he's going to be quite scary here. I mean, Sinatra kind of cornered playing with the Odin towards that B side. We'll see if it's going to be that case for him now playing here with the Aries later on, and maybe possibly upgrading to the Odin. But now it's still going to be Tens moving forward. One is spotted towards Twine. They're going to push aggressively to try to take him down. He runs out of bullets, but at least Relics could drop him down. As that's going to be Marv as the Omen, but still within that smoke is the other Jet across the A entrance, and that's Baby Bay.
Tens has not gone to pick up the rifle that's now waiting on the ground either. Jet's right around the corner, moving away from A main and more towards Tree Room, but there's still 2 players up in heaven. It's Phoenix and Sova who are playing defense on that A site. Shinobi trying to work his way back. Again, they spent a little bit of money in the last round, so the buy coming into this is not exactly stellar for Cloud9. They're going to have to pump the brakes a bit and go to a full buy at a future round. The Jet changing positions over towards Cat as the A site has been vacated. The only one playing defense there currently is Jet, and the only one playing on the attacking side there is also Jet. Sova has started to rotate back in, but the B push is about to come through. The big problem is they don't have that LMG in position like they did previously. There's the boost spot turret. It's really difficult and annoying to deal with, especially with the hardware coming in. Flash coming out from Corey, double curveball around the corner. There's one up on lane, but the peek from Relics from stairs takes care of Baby Bay. The Nano Swarm going to flush out that position. The shot's coming through the wall. It tends to take down Raucus with Zachary with a trade from the pistol. Vice is in position in the cubby. It'll be a 2-on-4. Cloud9 has a massive advantage. Given the hardware they brought into this, this is a bit of a disappointing round coming out. And Corey even taking shots through the wall. with the HP being what it is, it's going to be a save from FaZe. They're going to back off and surrender the round to Cloud9, who came in with SMGs and pistols and managed to find a gap in the armor and took advantage of it. So they'll be backing away with some additional hardware if they could find it. Should have at the least gotten the rifle over towards A, but yet again, that was the Jet, that was Tens who was in that position, and he's been taken out. We'll take a look at the money, see what they bring. They bring the Phantom, and they bring the Bulldog. The rest of the team has some money, so you'll see Baby Bay buy, but Marved on just 2,500 cash after purchasing the armor. They're trying to figure it out. They're juggling the cash around currently, as they want to make sure they cycle the buy perfectly and get everything to where it needs to be. And once the dust settles, you can see it's going to be somewhat awkward for both teams. Still 2 Stingers in play for the attack, 3 rifles, a Bulldog along with the Vandals, and a shotgun as well for FaZe, but no surprise, that one's going to be in the hands of Baby Bay as the Jet.
So moving forward right now, it is going to be another slow start for Cloud9, but 2-1 to FaZe in this first half. Things are looking good, at least for them on the defenders. Maybe not into this round, though, as their one player falling short behind on his catwalk as he was picked earlier on from an attempt of an aggressive pick. So Cloud9 still playing it slowly despite them getting that 1-minute advantage. But you can see them slowly starting to creep up here and gather around so they can split towards the A site in the end. But they're about to walk into 3 players that are stacked into that site.
Orb scooped up Corey to pick off Tens on catwalk, equalizing things at a 4-on-4 with just north of 40 seconds on the clock remaining. We'll need to see some action here from Cloud9, and they're starting to work their way in towards B. You've got the turret sitting sidewalk, so it's spraying bullets down towards Relic's position. I'll go ahead and use the blast pack to actually work his way in closer. Vice is found to pick off over on Cat. There's the Hunter's Fury coming out from Raucus, but it's kind of off the mark. They're actually going to be moving up in mid. Relics slams a rocket straight into the face of Raucus, and he swallows that one whole, but they have to move so rapidly into the site. Zachary is still here, but there's time to take care of him and get the spike down, but they don't even need it. Relics will get the final pick off with the Stinger. As bizarre as the buys have been coming into this game thus far, that round was somehow even more strange, with action taking place on short, mid, and B, and the clock ticking down to about 10 seconds as they finally gained access to a site.
Yeah, so I just saw some people in the chat saying the Stingers are no joke, and it seems to be no joke at all with these guys wielding it up, with Vice and Tens going to work with it before. This is actually a great entry to counter up towards that Hunter's Fury. Raucus didn't even have a chance to pull out his weapon out when you saw the Raze jump out in the air, courtesy of Relics, rocket to your feet, and that allows Cloud9 to get into the site and just pick him off. Not even needed to get into a full hold out after a spike plant, sorry. And they're tying things up on 2-2. And as they tie things up 2-2 as well, though, it's going to be an eco for FaZe Clan. But still, thank God, Baby Bay does have the Blade Storm, is able to get the first pick. And now it's traded off as Mitch gets the frag here onto the Omen, trying to push forward. And they're just going to rush into the site. But Baby Bay quickly flashed as he was trying to peek out towards that heaven. And he gets picked off. So now it is going to be that spike that's going to go down at the generator. Default spot, still waiting for the rotation to come through, but it's still so far away. There's only Corey on his own with the Sheriff, and as the door has closed, it's pretty much going to be a situation where you're looking for exit frags, looking to whip save some weapons into the next round if you get a couple of players of Cloud9 down. And that starts off with Relic sporting towards his mid side, and Raucus will be able to salvage at least one weapon. But can they get more out of that? We'll soon find out. At the end of the day, it's still going to be the round coming in from Cloud9, taking the lead into this matchup.
Placing swarm grenade.
They'll go ahead and throw some utility down as they continue to just play safe, even if it seems like it's guaranteed. You can see the back off now coming in from FaZe. They're going to fall all the way back. 3 players survive for both sides. Cloud9, like you said, taking the lead at 3-2. Expect this pace to continue throughout the series, a back-and-forth volley of rounds. Cloud9 has managed to win 3 in a row, but they haven't always been easy. That round, sure, 3-on-3 in the end when the spike detonates, but the round prior, it was somewhat sloppy and disconnected. Like to see them maybe tighten up the nuts and bolts just a bit. Baby Bay switching off the shotgun and going to the operator. Again, we mentioned this yesterday. We didn't really see a whole lot of op play. Maybe more recently, the changes to the op, having people shy away from its utilization. And it was pivotal, but more so on the defense than the attack. Nice move coming in from Jet. They're all blind, flashed back and forth, and it results in TenZ finding a kill onto that operator player. Ruckus with the sidearm able to take him out. But in the meantime, they've lost control of A. Shinobi is on the A site. They're shutting the door, and the spike will be planted.
Spike planted. You should
Shinobi
run.
on site, and there's the Killjoy ult being popped. That'll make it difficult for them to try to retake, excuse me. And you can see the Omen's already backed off. Corey's able to pick off one and make it out of that bubble in time. And now they have to start from scratch. Breach very far away from the play, all the way up catwalk. And look, they've even got the Molly in position as well, the Nano Swarm to delay even longer. This allows the Breach to get up catwalk and get into a more advanced position. Turret's gonna go down, dark cover in position as well. There's one currently sitting in hell. That's gonna be Killjoy. Mitch lined up two. Make it three for Mitch. It's now down to just one. It was looking like a promising retake until Mitch shut it down on the site. A big round for Cloud9 to take as they find number 4 on the scoreboard. Jet ult available for Cloud9 as well. So you've got TenZ with the knives. That's why there's only a pistol currently equipped for TenZ. Actually decides to buy anyway. Thought for a second we would just see that knife save. Maybe some verticality over the B wall, go for an early pick. There's some spam coming out from Ruckus. It's the Odin, no surprise there. It does go burr, or so I'm told. Currently it's burring into nothing. There's the knives coming out from TenZ. The turret is currently sitting right around the corner on the box. You've got Omen playing in Tree Room. Killjoy up in heaven. You've got double Nano Swarm as well over towards Generator. Boombot to clear out B main, and that's going to flush Baby Bay out of that position. So good utility use early on from Cloud9 to open up some avenues of attack. In the meantime, though, FaZe has shifted their Omen into Covey. That'll be Marved. We'll see if they're prepared for us, as they do have players moving up catwalk now. They're setting up a crossfire with the Phoenix as well, so it'll be Relics and the Killjoy. There's the first peek, and there's Marved in the corner, but it only fools one. The flames go down. TenZ picks off Corey, and that's the A site lost, except for Killjoy again, who's up top. Baby Bay not to be bested by his Jet counterpart. Vice gets dinked through the wall by the Sheriff, but the damage nowhere near fatal. Spike will be planted on the A site yet again. You've got Jet coming in from a similar position. The turret just now being spotted and taken care of. It'll be a 2-on-3. Baby Bay slowly sneaking out.
It's going to be an interesting one here. See how, here we go, Relics playing on that catwalk side, gets the headshot, and that's one to fall. Leaving one more to go. Baby Bay at least makes it a 2 versus 1. Has information for at least one player, but it's a crossfire set up towards Hell, and they're playing it also passively here for Cloud9. Baby Bay now at the default boxes for that clock. He has to act quick. That's the third kill. A 1 versus 1. If you want to save it, you could throw the Rolling Thunder, but you're still playing that clock. He dashes away, but that's going to be too late. FaZe Clan will not get the defuse. They probably will both die out of this one, and it's still going to be the round coming in for Cloud9. And what I was trying to say here, Bach, just before, was the fact that we talked about how Relics likes to lurk a lot. And we're like, it'd be nice for him to play as a Cypher to lurk around. It'd be nice to him to stay as an Omen to lurk around. But even as a Raze, that's enough as well. You're talking about paint shells, but you're also talking about just lurks, and you're getting more kills. If you actually get more kills on rotations and you're recharging and replenishing your paint shells, it's even going to help you even more to try to hold the spike down when you have to get into the site to help out your team.
I mean, this was such a good attempt from Baby Bay. I mean, the 4K comes through. Obviously, it's just too little too late on that final kill on device. But we've now seen a string of rounds for Cloud9. No response from FaZe. They won the pistol in the round that followed, but then Cloud9 came in with a broke buy in the third round after forcing in the second, and they've been picking up round after round since then. Oh no, Baby Bay in a bad spot right now, has to dash away, goes to pull out the knives, taken down immediately. The fact that the kill comes through onto TenZ is huge. Corey goes for the run it back, but it doesn't produce any success. He's now stuck on the other side of the door. Ruckus only able to find one kill with that Odin before being immediately punished by Shinobi. And now Corey playing a game of chicken with the rays around the corner. There's the rocket, but the flame's just too powerful. As it stands, Relics will be barbecued. Nice paranoia to lead them in. There's the Rolling Thunder being popped. Vice will find one. Traded out, though, is Shinobi. And it's now down to a 1v1. A back and forth results in Zachary narrowly surviving the round and finding a win for FaZe Clan they desperately needed, but at what cost? This one's going to be expensive for them.
Yeah, you definitely hope that Zachary could get up on that platform to salvage the operator into the next. He's racing for it now, and he is going to get it because he was such in a tight spot for Baby Bay to try to get a pick. I mean, you could get a kill, dash away, but he dashed into an area where Cloud9 just continued to rush so aggressively into B main. You could see it right there. Dashes in. There's already 3 players out there for that trade. So we talked about if it was going to be a fast-paced game, when it comes down to the execution, they will explode. Relics, I like the idea there. I mean, he died from the hot hands, but as you're burning down, just try to get a kill with you. Unfortunately, you couldn't pull out the rocket on time since the changes of that raised pocket rocket that comes out. I like to call it the pocket rocket, if you guys know the Halo days. But nonetheless, though, he's still not able to get the kill, and FaZe Clan did a great job on that retake, just because Cloud9 just liked to aggress back. They didn't really play back into the site. They didn't crossfire to hold the spike. They went for a Rolling Thunder and brought the fight back to FaZe Clan, but unfortunately, the Rolling Thunder didn't hit enough. Big find, though, from Corey, but it fails.
I think you should Google pocket rocket.
Yeah, it's when he misses rocket. No?
No, I think the
no, not that.
pocket rocket.
Sorry, I meant pocket rocket.
But surprising, Baby Bay taking down 2 with the op as you see Tens fly into position. Baby Bay has Tens' number dialed in. As yet, we have seen Tens is really struggling in those one-on-one duels with the other Jet. Well, nice ult coming out for Shinobi. That'll allow the spike to be planted. It puts Relics in an interesting position. Slowly moving in from mid, the opposing Omen all the way back in attacker spawn. Now, Relics might be able to catch Marv here coming through. It's all about timing. There you go. That's huge, as that allows Relics to get into a better spot to help out the teammate on the site. There's the nade going down as well. That'll delay a little bit, and perfect. Well executed from Relics to now sneak into the site and gain control of Sidewalk. You've got one player very low on HP. That's Baby Bay as the Jet, and they're starting to work their way in. Zachary will be the first one in. Baby Bay has switched actually off the operator and over to an Odin and is spamming away looking for an opening. Not going to find it, and realizing the round is lost, it's time for Baby Bay to get out of dodge. Does the Omen fall? Yes. Shinobi will die in an attempt to escape. So an expensive round for both teams, but Cloud9 finds success number 6 on the round, or on the board, guaranteeing at least halftime tie.
This is actually such a fast first half now by Cloud9 on the execution, but there's so much to do for FaZe Clan to try to adapt to the playstyle. How to get rid of Relics that keeps on lurking right like that. It's like the 2nd or 3rd time that he's able to get those rotation picks. How do you actually stop such an aggressive push by Cloud9 when they get into a site? And how do you adapt to Cloud9 pushing back forward as soon as the spike gets planted? Because you saw when Relics was actually playing that 1 versus 1, his teammate as the Omen was actually moving towards attacker spawn, or defender spawn rather, and trying to bring the fight for the 2 players rotating so that just in case they could really focus on clutch situation in the end should one of them fall, and to get a little bit more information and more of a surprise attack due to the 1 player less that they had in that situation on that 2 versus 3. So still very well played by Cloud9, and that's a pick from Baby Bay attempt as he sees a top of Relics' head, on the top of the cabin. He's just going to fall back quite calmly into the B site while the rest of Cloud9 trying to get a pick here towards A main.
Yep, yet again, Relics lurking on the B site, trying to keep them glued in position. After going for the jump peek, getting spotted by the operator, you saw Baby Bay fall off. And now the rest of the team is actually moving into position to support this B push. So we'll see an execute towards B in just a moment. You've got Sova on site. Raucus, kind of curious what hardware Raucus is going to have, as we've seen LMGs be equipped before. There's the flashes. Oh no, the cloud burst actually misses. It was intended to land in market. That might make things a little bit awkward as Baby Bay is there with the op to punish. The door does shut. Zachary will go down as well. It's all up to Raucus on the site. Marv even somehow picking one off with the ghost. They've gained access to the site, and there's the spike being planted in addition to that Killjoy ult being popped. Tens wants to get into position, but no, taken down from behind. It puts all of the pressure on Mitch, trying to rely on the ult, and that'll at least buy time for Mitch to find a better position. But with 61 HP, this is going to be difficult for Mitch to work with. Again, they move in closer and closer. Down the stairs they go. Marv, the tip of the spear with the Ghost, dropping him down to 31 health, and finalized by a kill coming in from Corey. Great round from FaZe Clan, working with suboptimal hardware and finding their 4th on the scoreboard, not allowing Cloud9 to guarantee the lead at half.
And I like how they played it. Baby Bay trying to get the operator, just playing back towards that mark because he knows that his teammate, Raucus, inside B, only has a sheriff to work with. So they're never really going to be able to go for aggressive peeks and crossfires and trades. So you're really playing individually at that point. Raucus is basically going to bait Baby Bay and bait the opponents into the site, thinking that it's clear after Baby Bay gives up his position, and he was still able to get 1 kill on top of that before he died, and everybody from Cloud9 moved into the site. And by the time we were able to get Mitch's lockdown down into the site, everybody was already so close to the spawn side into the market, so when the Killjoy ult goes down, you break that door, you bring the fight towards Cloud9, and you're winning it because you have the numbers advantage. It was basically a 3 versus 1 for that retake at the market side, and then just 2 versus 1 into the site. So FaZe Clan, on quote-unquote a thrifty round, was still able to do very good into that retake. So 6-4, you're battling back into this half, but Cloud9 still shows a lot of positivity in terms of the result here. 6 rounds on the attack is still very good to start things off in this first match.
Relics again. Lurking over, and B pulls out the paint shells, and Baby Bay punishes with that operator. Great play thus far. There's the jump peeking in hell over top of the default box. Stops you from hitting your full apex on the leap. So it's not necessarily as easy to hit that shot. Paranoia comes through after Zachary goes down. Quick play coming out from Corey as he hits run it back. And look at the success we come in with Corey on the ult. Finding 3 kills, absolutely fantastic play through that dark cover. Well played from FaZe on the defense yet again.
Yeah, and it seems as though how you want to adapt on that step 1, how do you stop Relics, is try to bring the fight towards him, and it seems to be a 1 versus 1 between Baby Bay and Relics. How many times have we seen Baby Bay push forward and then he's face-to-face to Relics? Then he falls back into the site, Relics is moving forward to try to get an entry into B side, he loses the fight to Baby Bay. So that is probably going to be that lockdown 1-on-1 versus Jet versus the Rays from FaZe and Cloud9 respectively, and then the rest, let's see what happens. And there you go. You're just spamming the wall. Relics continue to lurk on his own, and they just know this. Because after Relics dies, it's like, well, the rest of the team of Cloud9 are probably on the other side of the map. So nobody's rotating now. They're actually doubling up on mid side, so they could actually get ready for some sort of a split or mid control. So they kind of are able to finally read Cloud9 into, once they take Relics down, we could finally focus on the other rest of the players and stack up at the right places.
That said, the adjustment period was long enough that Cloud9 was able to find a substantial pile of rounds. This final round, the money is not exactly fantastic, but they managed to bring a buy together in the end. Tens has to get the trade after Corey again goes ham, finding 2 kills this time, not 3 like last round. But it's a major number advantage. FaZe Clan right now doubling Cloud9 and a 4-on-2, make it a 4-on-1. The only one remaining is Breach. Not exactly the best agent to be in a 1vx with. There's the flash come through. Doesn't even really work out as Marv picks him off with the operator. We are tied up at 6 apiece as FaZe Clan finally got their foot back in the door right at the tail end of the first half and managed to make it work. And a large part of what they were doing was off the back of Baby Bay's op work. So again, we talked about this. We didn't really see too much strong op presence, at least in the games that we covered yesterday, on the attack side. It was mostly defensive heavy. I'm curious, is Baby Bay going to be able to transition the op over now to the attack, or are we going to see now Tens pick up a performance and start to shut it down?
Definitely. Another player I want to talk about as well is Corey, right? If it's not going to be Baby Bay getting those op picks early, it's still Corey able to hold down his angles on mid rounds too. So using Corey, that seems to be on point on the defender start to start things off. You're definitely going to rely on these two for the entries, as they are the duelists for the team for this second half. And it seems to be a similar strategy as Cloud9. Semi-slowly A little bit slower to start things off, but now as the execution comes in, it's going to be an explosion into the site. Very similar play on the defense too. The defense are holding 2 players into the boathouse now. The retake coming through from the market side, and Relics gets the first kill onto Baby David. It's traded off here, but it's still going to be now the attacker taking the upper hand. Cloud9 falling down, and FaZe Clan is on a 2 versus 1, but Marv is low on HP. You still have Cloud9 moving forward here from the doorway. It's going to be Shinobi waiting to break that door, but that turret is going to do enough to know that he's coming towards that market side. So FaZe Clan are ready.
Blowing up the door, taking out the turret. There's a lot of reasons to believe that Shinobi's going to be moving in from this position. Now spotted by the pulse of the recon dart as well. Fires towards close corner, but it's a wide peek from Raucus. That costs him his life. I love this fake TP. But
Oh
no,
my God.
Shinobi! What happened? Oh no! Shinobi goes full potato and misses a blind target, and that is a brutal blow as FaZe Clan pick up the pistol in a situation that was incredibly winnable for Shinobi.
That was insane. On that 1 versus 1, you saw that there was a fake shadow step 2 from the attacker side of FaZe when it was actually Marv going for that shadow step. Look at that. So he comes right into the animation, so technically you're still able to land that first shot and still get the kill, because if I'm not mistaken, Marv was like at 18 HP on that 1 versus 1.
1 bullet.
Yeah, so you come through, the wide swing is just a little bit difficult, I guess, under that pressure. That it didn't pay off there for Shinobi, but Cloud9 trying to push aggressively now, pinching towards his mid side, starting off with 10s, not able to get the first kill, but 2 are now pushing towards B main. It will be spotted by the turret, so they will have to cancel out their aggression, and things are looking good for FaZe Clan to take the lead, maybe by 2 in this game.
You know, in Shinobi's defense, if there's a skill in this game that makes it annoying to hit an agent, it's that one.
Yeah.
You know, Shadow Step can be very frustrating to try and actually lock down the proper time to shoot, so I get it.
Yeah.
But he had opportunity after the Shadow Step to hit him, and he was still blind. So at that point, it was panic fire, getting the call-outs that he's low on HP, just fire away. It could have worked out so much better. FaZe has access to the A site. They're going to go ahead and get that spike planted. Yet again, we see a force come in of sorts here with Cloud9. Or actually, excuse me, picking up some hardware. So,
you know what's annoying as well, Buck? That's not an ability. Well, sort of. It's whenever you're trying to fight a Cypher with no head. After he pulls an intercept,
yes,
impossible
that's what
to
makes me good. Is I just use the ult just so people can't hit me when I play Cypher.
He turns into Slenderman.
He kind of does. He looks like me because his head is perfectly smooth. That's why I play him. I relate to the baldness.
That or breathing.
Yeah, well, I get called Bald Breach, so I'm supposed to be apparently Bald Breach for Halloween. That's just what I'm gonna have to dress up as. But who has time for that? 8 rounds on the board for FaZe Clan. They pick up the pistol and the second round, but this is exactly how that first half started, and then we saw Cloud9 come alive. The question is, will they be able to continue that streak like they did in the first half, with Cloud9 picking up the win here and then running it back for a while? Or will FaZe Clan find a different level on their attacking side? Again, the money coming in from Cloud9. They did spend a little bit last round. They did have some weapons brought in previously. So it's not exactly stellar. They've got a couple of sheriffs plus the stingers that were saved. Cloud9 feeling like they love that force bind. They did it in the first half as well, and I'd be interested to see if they're going to continue to do that across the entire series, losing the pistol, forcing in the second. It's not something you see a lot of teams do. Even on the buying, or even on the winning side, you don't see teams spend money all that often.
That's right. We'll soon find out as the real gun round will happen soon after this one. But Cloud9 putting a lot of pressure on this mid side. With 2 players, it's going to be Vice and also Mitch, but it's covered by a dark cover to start things off. And we have a great corner, though, from Relics with this Frenzy. He doesn't hear any footsteps. Now here's the first footstep. Mitch is going to try to bait it out. He has to pick out quick, but Corey actually was able to beat the corner before. And as they push forward, though, Mitch still has that stinger. It's a trade for trade, and still a 1-minute advantage for FaZe Clan as they're running into the site on the B side now. They're going to get the easy plan after they clear out Boathouse. And the 3 players are just going to basically try to get lucky on early picks or look for exits.
And that position right there for Mitch is great for 1, but finding multiple is going to be difficult because the magazine in the stinger just isn't that deep, and that's exactly what happens. He runs out of ammo. Marv and Zachary dropping 10s in Vice. It'll fall down to Shinobi. And this time Shinobi is just going to hang back with the Sheriff.
Yeah.
Maybe try to pick somebody off if they get overly aggressive. It's 9 rounds now on the board for FaZe Clan. It's getting a little bit scary for Cloud9. They're going to have to come alive here in this next round. It's a big buy. A lot of pressure on them to perform in this upcoming round.
Definitely normal when you actually go for a force buy on that second round. You're probably going to be on a 4-round deficit. Nice shot by Shinobi on these exits, though. That's going to build up the ultimate points at least, because he's not looking for a weapon there. I think it was only an SMG that we had. Oh, a nice second shot, though, onto Raucus. But at least now we're going to have the gun round through, and as you mentioned, that position for that stinger for Mitch, it was great for 1 kill, but like I said, I think Mitch, the idea that they're trying to do for Cloud9 was try to have Mitch trying to left lean a little bit faster or jiggle peek towards the entrance of B so that the first people could actually focus on him, and as they run across, they could then go for a double swing for Relics and for Mitch, where you have a Frenzy and a Stinger. So on top of that, that's going to be some rapid fire, some armor penetration that's going to really help a little bit more for Cloud9 in the dire situation that they had on that previous round. But it's not going to be the case. It's still going to be the round for FaZe Clan. And now that the money that we have for Cloud9 is going to be full rifles and an operator for tens. Not sure now that you bought all the way down to 0. I didn't look at the beginning of the round if it was exactly 5K that tens had. But it's definitely going to be a tough one as a glass cannon, unless it's a bug with the armor too. But it's going to be a big investment now for Cloud9.
I'm just looking again at that last round. It was the shots from Shinobi at the end that were impressive there, but where were those in the 1v1 with the Ghost? You know, you want to see those in a different scenario. So we do have a pause coming in here, and I'm curious if this is going to be a tactical call from Cloud9 as they try to figure out what they're doing for the round. It would make sense. Everyone's here. You can see everyone in position. No one disconnected. Look at the positioning right now from FaZe. It looks like they want to go for some mid-aggression and kind of shut down this play before it starts. And honestly, I think that's the right play. I think that's the right call because you're going to have Cloud9 who's trying to set up for a slow take with all of their utility. They're going to try and, or excuse me, other way around, flip the names. Correct. You have Cloud9 who's going to be setting up with the buy. So you're going to have FaZe Clan who's trying to set up their utility and try to set up a play because they've got all this money. And I think you can catch them off guard to a certain extent. So I like this. I like the fact that we've got 3 players stacked up in mid. We might see that aggression with the Omen smokes. You might even see a peek over on A main with Relics getting the paranoia to lead in. There's a lot of possibilities with the way they're positioning themselves, but we'll see if they decide to stick with this. Again, right now we're just waiting for the pause to come undone, and then we'll be jumping back into the action. If we could, can we pull up the scoreboard and take a look as well, see where we're sitting with everyone's cash, and yeah, there we go.
It's super low for Cloud9. It's a big round for them.
Yeah, I mean, tens went for the glass cannon operator. You've got the Ares for Baby Bay, which interesting. We saw them use it before, but it looks like we're ready to kick off. Now, do they get aggressive here? Because the way they're positioned in mid with 3 players playing that spot, you would almost assume that's going to be the play. But right now, you've just got tens holding with the op, and there's an early pickoff on Cat, and then they decided to fall back. So it's possible they were just guarding the op. Say the op goes down, they try to scoop it back up and put it in somebody else's hand.
Correct, because Mitch is another opera that they could use as a secondary opera for Cloud9.
Correct, right.
But also,
or even Relics.
Yeah, and you saw it miles away that pick was going to happen. That was going to be won here by tens. Because from the first pick, the smoke went all the way in the back of mid, behind Pizza, instead of the archway. So you saw it a mile away after Marv was going to peek towards back mid. That tens was going to get that pick. And on top of that, speaking of tens, he gets a second one from that catwalk. So he continues to rotate around, and they're going to keep FaZe kind of guessing now on the attack. The unfortunate part, though, is that they're on a 2-man deficit. That means now Corey is going to try to play kind of like what Relics was doing before as that Raze, trying to get an entry, trying to force a rotation on his B side, and as he does, the other 2 players will move into the A side. But is that going to be the case? Because he has such a big number advantage, and you also have an alarm bot on mid side, you don't really need to really try to rotate back and forth. So just gamble to your numbers towards one site.
30 seconds
on a 2
left.
versus 1 on the B side. Here's Corey moving inside as well, but still nobody's really rotating.
I like this move from Corey. Throwing down the flame wall to get in.
Oh, but they're rotating.
Blaze wall, opening them up. But, like, you've still got Vice here. So there's, like, this odd assumption.
Yeah.
And they are low on time. That dark cover is going to fade as they go for the push. As long as they hold B main, this round's going to end. All they need to do is pick off the spike, and even still, there's not enough time. So that's the way the round runs out. The clock just expires right before Zachary dies. So an unfortunate set of circumstances. They had a good opening attack plan there in the disadvantage. with that blaze wall going down, curving around the corner, gaining him access to the site, but the spike was so far away.
That's right.
They couldn't actually get it there in time, and you saw it coming a mile away. As soon as they get to B main, they're going to get challenged. If the spike drops or even gets slowed down, one bullet going through the wall, that's enough to slow them down that they won't have time to spike plant. So, unfortunate there, but Cloud9 picks up a win they desperately needed.
You had the turret on top of that too. There was like so much slowing going on from armor pen to a slow from the turret. It was just not enough time. But that's how we saw it yesterday too, in a similar fashion when you were able to take down towards that B site, but nobody's there with the spike. You don't have to focus on those guys unless they're trying to go for wall bangs or whatnot. But at that point, Koro is trying to play super passively and very quietly. Tens with a nice shot to start things off though, but it's straight off by Marv. But you don't have to worry about the people behind the site, right? So they just did a great job with Cloud9 to keep their cool and their patience. Now Marv falls as well. Cloud9 back at a 1 minute advantage, and it's a battle towards this mid side. We're trying to dash away, but it's still going to be Pitch to connect with that Vandal on a 2 Baby Bay. We've finally made it into the site. We've tied it up on a 2 versus 2 somehow, and that recon dart is going to give enough time for Zachary to go for a plan and even get a better position. And on top of that, a lockdown to play towards Hell.
Now they're gonna peek out from short and kill the lockdown. I like the play. It was a quick play. You can see it reacted to quickly. In Hell, you currently got Killjoy. Zachary on 6 HP. Still comes down to a 1v1. Compared to what it was, that could have been so much better. Now Relix is gonna go on the hunt for that op. It's way back up. Never mind, there's a second op. So Tens goes for that position in Cubby. It's kind of a strange spot to find yourself in with an op. But knowing he has the dash and also the ult to work with, takes the first shot thinking I'll pull the knives out, find the next, gets traded out. It goes back and forth for a bit. They continue to lock it down, but the bigger problem was this play. So here's that shot, and then the knives come out. Missed shot, but there's a great flash coming in from the breach. Marv is blind, staring at the sun for days at that point. But then we switch into the B site. Zachary's able to lurk into position. Raucus finds one more as well into tree room. All of a sudden it turns around. I don't love the ult placement for Zachary. That ult, yeah, sure, it could have been really useful, but the spot it was in, they had no coverage from tree room. So all they had to do was swing wide from tree, and that's exactly what happens. You see, I think it was Mitch that swung out and easily killed the ult, which prompts a push in from A main to try and trade out. He gets taken down from the player in heaven, and it all falls apart from there. Tens getting aggressive in mid, picking off Marv. The buy coming in from the attacking side is less than stellar, so it should be a tie point here. Although the knives are out for Jet, and we know how pivotal that can be sometimes and how much impact that can have on a round.
Most definitely, and just on that pass round, it's just tough to find a good spot for the Killjoy ult too, right? You put it towards Hell, the dot comes onto your mini-map, you could spam it from the rafter side, you're trying to put it outside in the open into the site, it's going to get broken no matter what. I think that was the best spot, but definitely, like you said, Bach, you had to find some way to cover up towards and push towards that door side, and we didn't because we were trying to play the spike into our favor from that A main. But with that, though, the Blades will not do anything, unfortunately, for Baby Bay, so it kind of solidifies this round for Cloud9 with the last two players kind of grouped up towards Gelato. While Bison continues to push towards this mid side, comes head-to-head versus Raucus, and a flawless round for Cloud9 right after that. So tied up 9-9, the money will come back finally for Freeze Clan, but at the same time, on top of that of a flawless round for Cloud9, the economy is very healthy on their side too. So now it could definitely go back and forth, and we can definitely go the distance for the rest of this game.
Turret out.
15 kills on the board for Baby Bay. I think coming into this half, didn't he have like 14? 13 maybe?
All in the
like,
all on what the defender side. It's a tough part, right?
Yeah.
When you don't have a chance as well.
Again, we mentioned it. The off duel has been heavily favoring the defense, and you can see that play out yet again as Tens gets the first shot out onto the Jet. They make their way onto the site, but that's with the run it back. So now the Spike is isolated and alone. The rest of the team wasn't actually there. It was just a visage, a ghost, a spirit walking form of the Phoenix. And it's brought us down to a 2-on-4 as a result. Spike lost, likely round lost. Everyone from Cloud9 here, they'd have to really fumble this round away in order for this to be a win for FaZe.
Such a tough one because you have basically Sova has to stay behind so that he can watch the run it back when you have Corey coming back from the end timer of his ult, or even if he gets killed. But at least he gets an entry on the Tens. It's a 3 versus 2. They could still battle it back. He still has a curveball in the dark cover for a double peek. to get it,
Player
make it a 2
remaining.
versus 2. 1 versus 1 is not happening towards the defender's side as we have a paranoia being thrown back from the back of the site. And after that, it's going to be the sealed deal. 2 players now moving forward from
Player
Cloud9.
remaining.
Oh, he's still able to get him dazed, but then on that 1 versus 1, twice finally capitalizes on the kill. And it's going to be the round coming in for Cloud9. And I was mentioning that 1 versus 1 block just because of that situation. It was a fight from the log side to the defenders as Vice was still holding inside that B site because he had that spike down on that sidewalk. And unfortunately, though, because you had to fight against a Rolling Thunder, a valiant attempt, though, to still be able to get that first kill, just not enough from the angle from where Vice was coming from to win the second fight. So it looked grim to start things off on the execution from FaZe inside B. But to finish on a 1 versus 1, still, you got to put a check mark on that one, that you're definitely not going down without a big fight.
That got a little scary there.
Definitely.
That should not have been as smooth and seamless as it was for FaZe getting it to that point. I like the use of the ult in the end, the Rolling Thunder, kind of guaranteeing your chances, getting the days in, because I didn't love the idea of going for dry peaks or even trade peaks. First kill will go the way of Cloud9 yet again. Consistently seen that. You've got the ult available for Jet. So the knives can come out. 4 10s. Omen TP, and of course the lockdown for Mitch. They're going to try to get out onto this A site. There is a Molly down right in front. There's also the turret present as well. Shinobi and Mitch, 10 10s, just one after the other, shot after shot. It falls down to 1 on site, and the turret's putting bullets in his side, making it harder and harder to move into position. 11 to 9, Cloud9 have stolen the lead back and have positioned themselves in a similar way to they did in the first half. They lose the pistol in the first half. They lose that second round. Then they go on a string of 5 rounds. In the second half, they lost the third round as well because the forced buy that came into the second didn't really produce much, and the third round neither. So they come into that full buy in that fourth round, and they've been all Cloud9 ever since. There's the early shot coming out from 10s. Again, the hardware is not fantastic. They're just trying to exploit the numbers. But you can see this last player in the site just getting pelted by turret shots as he tries to get out and just get a spike plant.
Yeah, and this is going to be a tough round. You have a double up setup for Cloud9 on defense. While on the attack, though, you have the op, but in the hands of Zachary, unless it got changed before, and you have Baby Bay with a Phantom moving forward. And Tense gets the knives in the face of Raucus as he dashes up in the air and goes for an op pick onto Baby Bay. So they did trade off the guns, and Baby Bay could not win the duel fight. Jet on Jet, Tense comes above, and it's 2 people ahead in this round for Cloud9. 2 men up, as the rest are trying to get more picks here towards this A main. The split did not work from this mid control, and it seems as though we're starting to slowly commit towards the A side, especially from this crossfire entry that you're attempting from FaZe Clan. But it's not looking good. They still have to try to come across 10 on this catwalk side, and it's going to be Corey versus 10 on that area.
Corey's trying to move into position. Will they clear the corner? No. Tense has found 3 on the round. And then the Killjoy ult gets popped. Look at this position as well at top cat. Tens wants the ace. The knives come out, but no, Zachary shuts it down. That's
30
okay.
seconds left.
4 is still pretty darn good. It's down to just the Killjoy. Zachary, 25 seconds left, holding on to an op. Very likely just wants to bring that into the next round. And kind of surprised that we don't see Cloud9 going more aggressively on the hunt as a result.
And on top of that, from what I see now, since Zachary does have that operator
10 seconds
in his hands,
left.
when Baby Bay actually tried to pick towards Link versus Tens, he actually still only had the Phantom, so he was trying to look that very aggressively from his angle. That's a very tough fight to win, especially against an operator like Tens. But nonetheless, though, we will be able to save this operator into this next round. The back's against the wall. It's 12 to 9, match point for Cloud9. The money doesn't look too right here for FaZe. We might see small shields and rifles for their side. But so far, it's just going to be an operator and a Phantom that we saw on this buy before the replays came out. So things are looking dire here for FaZe. I think we have to see them play a little bit more aggressively as a team. This mid control doesn't work out. Just go for that. Just bust it out. Just try to go for that battle and trade. And it seems as though it might be the case.
There's that turret placement again, watching for the aggressive play. Zachary holding on to the operator. Uh-oh. Here's the play. They've got the lockdown available. That's going to have to cause a shift out of position. No, with this aggressive dark cover, there's a chance that Shinobi can get up further. There's run it back being popped as well. It'll be the Phoenix with the Guardian. The door's gonna get shut. No, he's actually gonna wander past it as the door closes behind him. He'll get TP'd back anyway, so what's the big deal? Spike planted, it's a 5-on-4. This is a really good play coming out from FaZe and a smart play from Corey as well. Their positioning is gonna make this retake near impossible.
You do have a lurk coming, and Raucus is in a great position with that Phantom at that double stack. Mitch is slowly creeping up, and as he pushes forward, he should die on that one, but the retake still attempting towards this A side. It's just dropping life-wise, unfortunately. There's only one more to go. It's going to be TenZ. He's probably going to let that go. Look for a couple of entries before. Try to dash away at the last second. He gets that first one onto Raucus, and that's it. The spike is going to go off. But once cutting the rotation towards that spawn, we're trying not to save that off, and it's going to be Marv that's able to get that frag. Dashes to his death.
His body just leaps, flies into spawn. Double-digit rounds for FaZe. That's a huge round. Sure, plenty of money. On Cloud9. They have reached a critical point with their cash. 9,000 for multiple players, so they've got the fallback cash for the remainder of the second half here. But the positioning after they gain access to the site was really strong. I love the play from Corey as the Phoenix, hitting the run it back and going through the door.
That's right.
Did it result in much? No. All it told them was that area was empty. But I loved the setup in general. It was really well thought out from FaZe Clan. The question is, can they do that more than once?
Yeah.
Because the reality is, they haven't been able to find too much success, and it cost them a lot just to make that happen, using both run it back and lockdown coming in from Killjoy. So now they've got the Hunter's Fury and the TP coming out from Omen. They're going to just use as many ults as they can. It's actually brilliantly played. That allows the Omen to get behind enemy lines without the audible clue because of the fact that you're hearing the Hunter's Fury go off. The problem is that everyone else dies, so this doesn't work out so well in the end. It all falls down to the man who triggered that initial play, the Hunter's Fury, to mask the sound of the TP. It's Raucus alone, and Mitch will be there at the backside of Cat. 13-10, Cloud9 take map number 1.
That was unfortunate there. I like the attempt for what they're trying to do for Renegades on that round. Trying to use the Hunter's Fury, to clear out towards that tree so the rest could rush into the catwalk and try to get the split into a